Hey there folks, and welcome back for another video. I'm your host CDB or Chris, and today we're going to do a shaving video for you with the RazoRock. This is the Echo or Eco, depending on how you want to say it, and it's meant to be both economical or economical if you prefer, and eco-friendly because it uses half a double-edged razor blade. I'll show you that real quick and hopefully it won't fall out on me. Half blade right there just breaks in half. And you sort of pop it in the razor and it'll sort of align itself. You lay it in there, right? This is aluminum, very, very light. And I've used it before, but we're using that today. We're also going to be using the Yaqi Barber pole 24 millimeter synthetic. It's not my favorite knot. It's a little set short and not quite as dense as I would like, but I'm trying it out. And also we're going to be using a shaving cream by Wet Shaving Products, WSP. They do make fine products. I haven't used it for a while. I'll get into that as I go, but let's talk a little bit about this shaving cream. It is right now on sale at WSP for $24.99 for 7.44 ounces. And that is $3.35 per ounce. And let's show you the cost sheet there by, that graphic was done by John Rodeo. And as you can see, we're in the thumbs up territory. So very fair price for 7.44 ounces. Again, on sale, $24.99. This cream has argan, aloe, and shea. It can be used brush or brushless. First time I'm using it, so we'll see how it goes. Let me show you the ingredients while I wet my face here before we get loading. Anyhow, it's been a while since I've used WSP, and it's mostly because I know this is super finicky, but apart from this, is in a plastic tub, which I like because I have many soaps and I need my soaps to be protected. But anyway, WSP tends to use the small tins, and they're very small and they get banged up. And I've had my product before, not WSP in particular, but I've had products in tins go bad, rust. You can go back and see videos on it where I've shown people what can happen if you get moisture in your tins. They've also arrived to me dented. And what I don't think a lot of people realize, or I don't think a lot of people think about in this hobby, is every time you see one of these products on a YouTube channel, on a shave of the day, on a Facebook post, it's not a directive advertisement because we're not trying to sell this product, but it is an advertisement for the artisans. And so for me personally, I like to make sure that the containers look good, and it makes me feel good that they look good. So if it's dented up, if the top is all scratched up, if you can't see the brand name, that's not very good. I think artisans in this hobby enjoy an almost unprecedented amount of free advertising via the folks who buy their products and show them on channels like this. So my perspective is, I want to show them the way they come. And when they're all dinged and whatnot, I guess I could show that, but that just doesn't, I don't care for that, and I like products that's going to protect my product and it's going to stay safe for a long time because I have a lot of them. Now, I will say, if I was going to use this product from start to finish, I wouldn't care whatsoever, or if I wasn't going to do a video or display it, maybe it wouldn't be as important. But if you have many of them, you want them to be sealed and protected. And so the tins at WSP, again, they've arrived all dented up, banged up, and I just dropped my brush in the water there. And just generally, I stopped buying them because I just got tired of it, quite frankly. Now, they do make good quality stuff. So if you don't care anything about packaging, then don't worry about it because they make really good soaps. I just don't like those tiny tins for all the reasons I've mentioned. But the shaving creams, fortunately, come in the plastic tub. So as long as they offer shaving creams, I will use WSP. But when it comes to those tins, I just don't care for them at all. We'll get back on that in just a moment. The RazoRock Echo. One of the things that I think people have had problems with, those who have had problems with this razor, is they go in too steep with the angle, like so, and you're like scraping. If you lay it a little more flat, like the gym style razor, it gives you a better result. So almost lay it on its head and almost set the angle for you. And then as you use it, it doesn't feel nearly as aggressive. There is a lot of blade exposure there. I mean, make no mistake about it. So you sort of have to be mindful of the angle. And there are some places on your face where it's hard to set that razor. Like right here, for example, it's difficult. But I think you'll appreciate it or enjoy a smoother ride if you do that. That's just my suggestion. It is not the smoothest shaver that I've ever used. And again, I really haven't had time to experiment with which blade works absolutely best, but it is a good shaver. And it's $29.99, so it's not very expensive. And it uses half a blade at crack, so you do pretty good on that. I do like it, but it is not the smoothest shaver. Even, I don't really think I've found the blade that works best. It's not uncomfortable, but it's not like silky smooth. But I do like it. Anyway, getting back to the tubs. I know a lot of people do not like plastic, but I like the option. So allow me to be responsible with the plastic, because I do not discard the plastic tubs. I do not buy bottled water. So I save in a number of areas when it comes to, I'm not a big fan of plastic water bottles, and we see more of those than anything. And no one thinks twice about plastic water bottles. You see them all over. No one ever says a word about it. But you get a shaving tub and everybody's up in arms. Ooh! I don't throw them away. I repurpose them. I put screws, bolts, nuts, change. There are many, many things you can use these tubs for. And so I have never thrown one away, and I do not intend to. And if I do discard it, it will be recycled properly. So what I ask of the artisans, and I know some people, this is an area where some people will disagree. That is okay. I think what we have to do is respect the members. I'm just loading up out of my bowl here a little more because I dropped my whole brush in the sink here. Wet shavers, in my opinion, are a little, not to make a pun here, but we're another cut above. There's a shout out to Chris from Another Cut Above. We are more diligent generally about doing things. We are very particular about things. I don't think the wet shaving crowd are the folks that you really need to worry about in terms of not being responsible. I mean, we're a little different, I would hazard to guess. And so what I like is when the artisans give us a choice. Buy the puck if you just want a puck. Buy it in paper if you just want it in paper. But we got a container for you too. Look. Do you all remember the days back in 2013, 2014, when a lot of artisans did not have containers? They sold only by the puck, and then you had to go find your own container, and then you had to try to tear the label off the plastic paper or whatever it was wrapped in and glue it on top of a tin. Do you remember that? Because I do. And we worked with the artisans through our feedback going, we'd really like it if you had a label. Then they started putting them in containers, but the first labels weren't waterproof. You remember that? Because I do. And so you'd bring them in the den, and it would be, the ink would run all over the place, and the label would be shot after the first use. What did we do? We gave feedback, and they listened. Now they have waterproof plastic and they started out as tins, and people didn't like the fact that the tins would rust and get beat up, and they listened. And so what I'm asking for here is for the artisans just to listen once again, and don't get carried away, and give us the option. If you want to sell by the puck, that's nice. As long as I have an old container to put it in, that's good. But when they start coming in paper again, and then the soaps, I guarantee you one thing, a soap like this will last a long time in a container. You start wrapping those soaps up in paper, they won't last nearly as long. Now, that might be part of the design, I don't know. But the point is, if you give us an option, I think most of us are responsible enough to make the right choices, especially in this community. We're diligent. We're not really like the average person that's going to chuck something over the cliff. I mean, we care about things. We care deeply. Otherwise, we wouldn't be fixating on something as little as shaving. And so the message that I'm sending out to artisans is please, please, please give us the choice. and let us be responsible. If you want to offer a recycle program where you buy back plastic or give a cheaper refill, I mean, there's all sorts of things we can work together to do. But don't rule these things out that make it a better product and that display it better and that keep it safer longer. That's my perspective on that. And I don't want to go back to paper. I don't want to go back to tins. We've been down that road and it just doesn't hold up over the long term. And it introduces a different set of problems. You might feel good about what you're doing, and I think that's noble. But honestly, I don't think we, the wet shavers, are the ones really need to worry about. You probably need to look to the people, every other person you see with a plastic bottle of water. You know, it's just, there's so many, trillions of those things floating around. And, you know, again, every little bit helps, and I understand that, but give us choices. That's what I'm asking for. Okay, enough there on that. The shave is going well. This Barbershop scent is about a 6. It's over medium. It is very good. It is a very nice artisan cream. You don't really see a lot of artisan creams. I do like the WSP product. I really do. The packaging has been the only thing to hold me up, just like I said. It just annoyed me to no end. I have a little bit of OCD on certain things, and dented tins and things that look terrible when I'm trying to do this sort of thing doesn't honor the product as far as I'm concerned. Now that said, if you had a vintage something from, you know, 1950 and it was a little dented up, you could understand it. But if it just arrived to me last week and it's all beat up and it looks like crap, it just annoys me, you know. Ultimately, the product is what matters and how it works. And some people don't give a hoot about packaging, and that's okay. But I do care. Okay, let's wet the face here. Let's talk a little bit about the channel today. We'd like to mention the channel today we're mentioning is Friendship Shaving. Mark, I believe, is the gent's name. And he has a very laid-back channel. You remember how I talked about Jeffrey Smith? And I said he was the Bob Ross, you know, of wet shaving, very disarming, calm. And I say this is a compliment, Mark, so please, I hope it's taken as such. Mark reminds me kind of the Mr. Rogers, Fred Rogers. There was a show, and I hope you people from Europe know who I'm talking about, and I hope the show aired in Europe. He was a gentleman that did a kids show, and there's been a movie recently about him. And anyway, this guy used to come in, and he was very calm, very deliberate, friendly, welcome. And that's sort of, Mark strikes me by watching his content. Slow, deliberate, calm, you know, not shot out of a cannon talking quickly like I do. I'm the opposite, you know, I'm blah, 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 blah. You can't even, you know, Mark takes his time, he pauses. He covers things very thoroughly. He gives history. So I mean that in a very positive way. Like it's very calm. It's very disarming. It's relaxing. And you can watch his videos and they're very mellow. And he'll take a good amount of time to explain his experience and what he's doing, and you know how his run has been going with a particular soap or a razor. He'll set it up. He's got kind of his camera angle. He sets it up sort of on a counter. It's very, very nice. And so go check Mark out at Friendship Shaving. I believe Mark's out of the UK, if I'm not mistaken. Correct me if I'm wrong. But nice channel. Check it out. And I'm trying to, you know, sort of mention a new channel whenever I get a chance. It's not new. This channel's been around several years. It's got a lot of subscribers, but it's new to me. And so I want to really try to expand the community and feature these channels so you all can see them and be aware of them. And I hope the other creators in the community will do the same thing and continue to, you know, showcase the other channels and have that camaraderie that's going around right now. It's really terrific. And it's been really fun for me to discover. Some of these channels have been around a couple years. I didn't even know about them because I hadn't been really participating in the community. So, all right, here we go. One of the things about this razor, to talk a little bit, let's get to shaving, shall we? One of the things that's about this razor that makes it tricky is it's super light. So you're going to have a tendency to apply pressure where you really do not. If you just sort of let it ride, it will feel better than if you apply pressure. And trust me, I have a tendency, because I use typically heavier razors, to apply a little more pressure when I'm using a razor like this. And that really doesn't do you much good in most cases. If you just sort of let the razor do its work, it will. But it's tricky with these aluminum, especially if you're using, you know, the brass and stainless steel and things that are a little bit heavier. By the way, we're not having any problems with the WSP cream here. It's working perfectly well. The scent strength, I don't think, yeah, I did tell you 6. I got sidetracked on the labels because I apologize, folks. Things like that just have always been a source of irritation for me when I pay good money and something doesn't come to me. You know, I don't want a scratch and dent for retail prices, you know what I mean? Now, granted, I will say that had I reached out to WSP, I'm quite certain they would have replaced it, you know. I didn't want to cost them any more money, you know, and having to send me yet another product just because of an issue like that. But I have mentioned it over the years on video with the hopes that maybe they'll take my feedback and consider it. Their perspective is, you know, they're being eco-friendly, and I get that. And I respect people who, you know, have that point of view. But like I said, I just prefer a choice, and I'm going to make the right decision. I'm not going to pollute with it. I'm going to use care and be vigilant. And in my personal life, I do not pollute. I do not buy a lot of, I do not deliberately buy, you know, things and chuck them out. I try to reuse them. I try to be responsible. I try to make sure everything gets to the right place. And so I just like having the choice, and I hope WSP will consider that with their regular soaps. But, you know, it's up to them, and they have to do what's right as they see fit and what's in accordance with their, you know, goals and so on and so forth. Okay. Everything is going pretty good here. Let's see how we did. We did pretty good. Let's rinse the face. I'm tongue twisted, and we'll come back and do a post. Stay tuned. And all right, here we are back with the magic made by Witches. There's Witch Hazel. That was a nice shave. Again, for me, that the Eco is not the smoothest shaver. I'm going to be honest with you, but it does a good job. But I would be lying if I told you it's the most comfortable. I haven't found the blade yet that suits it the best. I have found that riding that top cap a little bit to have it set your angle certainly helps, but it may not be the absolute smoothest shaver for you. But I still like it. I still use it, and I'm going to keep up. Hopefully, I'm going to find that blade that just is a perfect fit. I haven't found it yet. The WSP Cream, which is brush or brushless. Good stuff. If you've been staying away from WSP because you just don't like those tins, try the creams because they are in these tubs. You get a good amount. They're on sale right now. 7.44 ounces. A lot of cream. Terrific barbershop scent. I love it. It worked very well. It is a keeper for me. WSP, despite my difference of opinion with them on containers as it applies to the regular soap, they do make a good product, and I would never say otherwise. The Yaqi synthetic, it's just meh for me. This particular one, I think they make others that are set a little higher and have more dense knots that would probably be a lot better. This one also, you can feel the layers here in the handle, so it's a little different. It looks good, but it's a little quirky, to be honest with you, but it does a good job. We're going to finish off today with RazoRock American Barber, which kind of smells like fine American blend. And I hope everybody's out there staying safe. And by the way, that's not my name. I didn't show the growth today for you. I've been showing the daily growth because I had a few comments with people about, you're not shaving anything. And so I've been showing it, and that's not my name. So that's gross. Stop doing it. So make sure you all refer them back to the video next time you see one of those comments. That way I don't have to show the daily growth. It's fun, though. I want to thank everybody for joining me. Folks, please keep yourself safe. Take care. Take the precautions your governments are asking you to take in terms of minimizing your contact with folks. Be safe. And for those of you who are quarantined, maybe you're ill, maybe you had a scare like John from John Shaves 101. I hope these videos are help keeping things uplifting and fresh, and I'm going to keep making them as long as I can. So I really appreciate everyone who comes to watch. I appreciate the new subscribers. It means a lot to me. Thank you so much. Until next time, I've been your host, Chris, and I am saying, remember, it's your shave, do it your way, and God bless.